Hello, everyone. Sarah here. Today, I'm going to answer a question, and I felt called to create a video around this to answer this question because it is a question that I received often. And it's one that many of us have, especially as our own children get older. So the question was, I am many of the things that you describe, cptsd, etc. How do I change the pattern for my son or daughter? I've tried very hard and I feel that I've done better than was done to me, but still know I'm not doing enough. So although this sounds like a simple question, and it is a very common question, it's not quite that simple, because in the asking of this question, we're really missing what we're truly asking. So we see that our children have, quote unquote, turned out a certain way, or are expressing certain things, anger, frustration, that they're projecting it there. And we feel that they should be different, that they should be navigating life differently, that they should, could, would. If only I would have been a better mother or father. If only I hadn't done this, they wouldn't be experiencing that. If only I had left the other person, their other parent, sooner, I wouldn't feel. And so what this really is indicating is that this is coming back to ourselves, and we're saying, I want someone else to change, because in them changing, then I will feel better. And it says, I still know I'm not doing enough. And in that, there is a belief that I'm not enough, because if I was enough, I wouldn't have to be doing so much. And seeing, how do I change the pattern for my son? How do I change the pattern for my daughter? There's a lot of questions here. What pattern do you believe needs to be changed so that they, right? And there's a lot of energy going external, a lot of how do I change the pattern for my son? You can't change a pattern for someone else. You can't. You cannot get into someone else's mind. You cannot go into someone else's life and in their mind and change them. And when you try to, when you interject yourself in their life with the energy that you're doing that because you want them to change, there's an energetic exchange of who I am as I am is not good enough. So you're not good enough is trying to get them to be good enough, to be better than they are, which is just a mere reflection of, I don't believe I'm good enough. I don't believe you're good enough. And I'm seeing these signs, I'm seeing the indication of signs and symptoms of, and that's what they are, things like PTSD, cptsd. We can see the signs, we can see the indication, the little markers, we can see the signs and symptoms of. And then there's a part of us that is triggered, a part of us that is still not okay with that part of us, that sees, if that part of them was different, was changed, it would be better. So we're labeling it as not good enough as it is, because it needs to be different, changed to be better. And better is our perception of, this would make that better. Someone else could come in and look at that and say, I think it's perfect the way it is. I absolutely love it. And you may think, what are you talking about? That's absolutely insane. That's crazy making. No. Can't you see that if it were different, if it were more like this and less like that, it would be better? And we see that because our children are a part of us, and we see, if this were different, if they only had more of this, less of that, then I'd feel better about myself, then I'd feel like I've done a really good job as a parent. I wouldn't be carrying the heaviness, the guilt, the shame, the blame, the burden of having messed them up, because it's my fault that they're showing signs and symptoms of cptsd, PTSD, that they're experiencing depression, sadness, highs and lows, that they can't keep a job, that they can't keep a relationship, that they're using substances to completely numb out. And if only they stopped doing that, they would live a better life. Here's the truth, the God's honest truth. We all go through what we need to go through in order to become who we are, who we're meant to be. And we're not going through it alone. Even though so many things that we go through, we believe that we have a perception and a belief that we're alone. And that is one of our greatest fears, is the fear of being alone, the fear of being misunderstood, the fear of being disconnected, and that we don't belong, we don't fit in anywhere. And with those subconscious beliefs, with those deeply rooted and those deeply ingrained beliefs, we express those feelings. And it's in the expression of those feelings that a parent or a loved one or someone who cares about that person can see, if you could just change, everything would be so much better. But you can't change for someone else, and you cannot force someone else to change. And it's in fact in that, when that person believes and feels that those that they're closest to, those that raised them, those that have supported them, when that feeling that they're not enough comes from those people, more pain is done, more damage occurs, because the pain and damage occurs at the unconscious level. Those deeply rooted beliefs, see, I'm not good enough. You don't love me. You'll love me if. You'll love me when. You'll love me if I change. You'll love me if I get a better job. You'll love me if I move out and move on. You'll love me if I fit into the box that you want me to be in, so that you're comfortable with yourself. And there's this parallel, and there's this energetic dynamic that goes on when you are experiencing things like this, especially from the parent perspective, or from the perspective of someone you love. It could be someone that you're in a relationship with. I receive messages quite a lot as well. Like, I watched your video. I see that my boyfriend is going through this. I see that my girlfriend's going through this. I see that my husband or wife is going through this. What can I do? You can't force them to change. You can't make them change. And in fact, in that, they're probably going to either stay the same, experience more of the beliefs that they already have, which leads to more pain on their part, more separation, more disconnection. And all you really want is a connection with them. So how do I change the pattern for someone else? I've tried very hard. I always say this, trying is a failure word, especially when you're trying to do something for someone else. And a lot of this is done from a place of lack, from a place of not enough-ness. If I just do more of this for you, if I continue to support you financially, if I just continue to bail you out and bail you out and bail you out and coddle you and not let you be the real you. Sometimes in love, we have to let people land where they're going to land without trying to catch them midair, because we're afraid that they're going to get hurt. And it's sometimes in that we need to check in with ourselves. Why am I really doing this? Why do I really try so hard to do so much for someone else? It's generally in our own state of lack, in our own state of fear, that if they do this, what are other people going to think? What are other people going to say? They're going to look at me like, you really messed that one up. Way to go, mom. Way to go, wife. Way to go, husband. Way to go, boyfriend. Way to go, girlfriend. It's because of you. And that triggers our own inner unhealed wounds. And that connects with our own limiting, negative, unconscious beliefs about ourselves. And we think, if I step in, if I try and it works and everything turns around for them, I can take credit for that. I can finally feel good about myself. So it becomes this reflection of this inward experience that we need to have, of looking inward. Why am I really doing this? Yes, I love them. Yes, it pains me to see them in pain, but often it comes from our own limitations, our own lack, our own inner unhealed wounds that are being triggered, that don't want to be triggered anymore, that are triggered with this reflection of this other person's projection. So you have done. If you tried very hard and feel that you have done better than was done to you, you have done enough. and you are enough. You are enough. It's the belief that we're not enough that causes that pain. And that person who you're seeing is in pain has the same belief. But you cannot change unconscious beliefs for someone else. You can only heal, transform, and transcend them for yourself. And you doing that for you gifting that, you allowing yourself to receive the experience of your own inner unhealed beliefs, change, transforming, transcending, you have a greater capacity and ability to hold space for them, to love them without needing to fix them, needing to change them, without needing to try so much. Because in that, they experience, you see me. You see me as I am, not as you think I should be. Wow. And they begin to experience the energy and the transformation of love, of true connection, of true understanding, of true, I am enoughness. So it's us experiencing that within ourselves that allows the space that needs to be held for those that we also want to receive and experience that. So if that's still going on, I still know I'm not doing enough. There's a belief there that regardless of what you do, it will never be enough. And that is the space of lack, the space of negativity, the space of heaviness, and it's being displayed. It's being projected, it's being shared, it's being transferred to those that we love. So it sounds selfish, but the only person you can ever change and truly impact in the way that you want them to be changed and impacted is yourself. And you doing that inner work and healing for yourself allows you to hold that space for them. And that is the most beautiful, most powerful, and most impactful gift that you can give them. Your children, your partners, those that you love. So I hope that helps bring some clarity on the answer to this question and the direction that you need to go. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please leave them in the description below. You can also find out more information about how to either begin that work, whether it's one-to-one or through our self-guided program. All right, sending you so much love. See you soon.